Welcome, everybody. Let's see.
Yeah, a second on my screen. Continue. Okay.
Please mute yourself.
You have to, right, you have to accept, you have to push OK. Everyone gets asked about the recording. So, so today is Tu B'Shvat. And it's funny, I almost said Tisha B'Av, which is a completely different day, a significant day in our calendar, and for that matter, with a different, completely different feel to it. Really, it was an accident. It was a Freudian slip. I mean, Tu B'Shvat is one of the 4 New Years of our tradition, in which the one is the New Year, Rosh Hashanah. One is Pesach, which is a New Year. One is the New Year for tithes, and one is New Year for trees, which is Tu B'Shvat. It's supposed to be a day of growth and promise and potential, and and I made the near Freudian slip by saying Tisha B'Av, and perhaps it's because
Rabbi, you're muted.
I apologize. I don't know how I did that, but I must have muted myself. Or maybe, anyway. So I was saying that, there's a feeling that, it was just, it's only been 48 hours since we experienced really one of kind of a very shocking and troubling time for the Jewish people. I'm at the temple right now, and I don't know if hopefully this will reassure you, but there was, I wasn't supposed to be here, but I just came here, but there was an officer in our parking lot. We're on a little bit heightened alert these days. And here it is, Martin Luther King Day as well. The promise of Tu B'Shvat, the struggle, the darkness of Tisha B'Av that I nearly made a Freudian slip on, and now Martin Luther King, which kind of is a blend, now that I think about it, of that, the promise and the darkness. And why? Because we know that even though what Martin Luther King stood for was extraordinary, and warm and welcoming, he did so at a time in which there was great conflict and difficulty and a lack of acceptance for him. He was the one who said, darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. And so, as we observe both Martin Luther King Day, along with Tu B'Shvat, the festival of growth and rebirth, or the holiday rather of growth and rebirth, we also realize that these two days are, we find ourselves in these types of days all the time. And, and I'm just so, I'm just so relieved that things went as gently and ended as gently as they did in Texas, because it gives us the capacity to get back into the mood of Tu B'Shvat, which is one of growth and forward thinking. And so I welcome everyone here to this program. This is really the work of Sarit and the sisterhood, and we are so grateful for all of the things that she does, the rich programs that she creates here at for the temple and for the people of the temple. And we're just so delighted to see you here. People here, some of you I see with screens on, some of you I see with screens off. Nonetheless, just so nice to see as many people here taking advantage of the various and multiple things that we do here at the temple. So thanks for being here. Welcome. And we're so glad to have Smadar here because she, as you probably have figured out by the various different things, the publicity that we put out, she is the one, the artist, the artisan for our Torah covers. Those beautiful, beautiful, exquisite Torah covers. She is the one who designed and stitched. So we're just so, I feel, as I was telling her before so many people came on, I said, I felt like I was in the presence of royalty, you know, because of how she has influenced and affected our temple. So thanks for being here, Smadar. And I turn it over to you, Sarit, to continue the program. Welcome, everybody.
Sarit, you're mute.
Sarit, you're muted.
Rabbi, thank you so much for your kind words. Shalom to you again and welcome, and thank you all for coming tonight to a special evening of celebrating both Tu B'Shvat and Martin Luther King. Many thanks to Sisterhood for sponsoring this event. Tu B'Shvat is a Jewish holiday occurring on the 15th day of the Hebrew month of Shvat. It is also called Rosh Hashanah Le'ilanot, literally the Jewish New Year of the trees. There are some traditional customs that have arisen to remind us of the meaning of this day. For example, we eat fruits and nuts, especially the fruits for which the Torah praises the land of Israel, which is a land of grapevines, figs and pomegranates, olives and sweet dates. In contemporary Israel, the day is celebrated as an ecological awareness day, and trees are planted. The national tree of Israel is the olive tree. The oldest olive tree in Israel is located in the Galil and is over 4,000 years. Can you imagine? The olive tree is sacred in Islam, Christianity as well. And as you know, it is a symbol of peace and friendship. As Jews, we live in many places in the world and celebrate everything that nature has to offer us in our own communities. But no matter where we live, observing Tu B'Shvat is a wonderful way to renew our ties to the land of Israel and to celebrate the cycles of nature. According to the Hillel International Organization, Tu B'Shvat is a celebration of the renewal of vision and awareness, a celebration of connections and connectedness. Tu B'Shvat is also called in Israel Yom Huledet La'ilanot, meaning birthday of the fruit trees. Tonight, we also observe the birthday and life of Martin Luther King, whose name is synonymous with concepts like courage, justice, love, freedom, and peace. We remember Martin Luther King's important statement in support of Israel. The whole world must see, and I'm quoting, the whole world must see that Israel must exist and has the right to exist, and is one of the great outposts of democracy in the world. He had a dream for peace in Israel, but understand that peace comes with security. With security. In Jerusalem, there is a street with this named after Martin Luther King. You can see it on my background. I think that Martin Luther King would be sad to hear about the horrific hostage situation that happened last Saturday in Texas, exactly on his birthday. And I guess he would say, we shall overcome. At these challenging times, we are strengthened by knowing we are part of something bigger than the anti-Semitism. Embedded deep within us is the connection we feel as Jews as a part of an ancient nation. Just as we are bound to the land, to our history, to the heritage we have inherited over the generations, we can celebrate the roots that tie us together. We are honored to have with us a special guest speaker, Smadar Livne, an Israeli-American artist. Yes, as you heard, she's the artist who made the beautiful Torah covers at our temple. The first name is Smadar. The name Smadar appears in the book of Song of Songs in the Bible. According to Kabbalistic interpretation, the name expresses growth, renewal, and love. So tonight, Smadar will present her artwork and will concentrate on nature, love, freedom, and peace. Smadar Livne, who won tens of awards from different art organizations, will share with us her thoughts, feelings, and philosophy behind her inspiring works. In between the slides, there will be few quotes of Martin Luther King that Smadar Livne, Merv Wiley-Browse, and Andrew Falk will read. Also, Merv will manage the Q&As. You are invited to post questions in the chat box or raise your hands. And now we are moving to Smadar's presentation, beginning with a short video. Enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Smadar, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much. How everybody? Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate that. It's my honor to be here. And thank you for all of you that come and hear my story. I'll be happy to share. And as I go and show my slides and painting, you are welcome to ask questions in between. So actually, my history starts 100 years ago with my grandparents. And I wanted to mention this because we all are here because our ancestor, and it's who we are, it's because of what happened many, many years ago. So for me, my grandparents, it's my father parents, came from Poland. In the situation in the beginning of 1900, anti-Semitism, they were Zionists and they made it to Israel. They made it to Israel, to Jerusalem, but like few years, my grandmother was a nurse, few years after, they moved to Kibbutz Ein Harod. Kibbutz Ein Harod, Ichud, it's in the north of Israel. And they were like the pioneers building the kibbutz. My father were born there in the, grow up and raised in the kibbutz. And my mother came from Lebanon, and she came, her and her sister, on a small boat in the middle of the night. She was 14 years old. They escaped from Lebanon to Israel. So I mention this because I wanted to show you the courage that these people and this devoting of coming to Israel, that it's not the land yet, and put their heart, their hard work, their body, their life to build Israel and make it happen. So my parents met in Kibbutz Ein Haron. They are very ambitious family, very hard workers, and I came along in the kibbutz, but it's already there. I was born to a beautiful place, everything already there for me. So I grow up as very appreciative of where I came from and how hard other people did all this work. And I thought, and I felt that my job is to go forward and to bring the joy, the love, the fun, the kindness, this all appreciation, that everything, that the goodness and the kindness that I see, I bring it forward. And my language is paintings. It's the colors, it's the brush, it's the colors. So I continue my education. I went to the army, it's important to say. I was paramedic in the army. And after the army, I went to the Haifa University and I study fine art, literature, and then I continue my master's degree in Baltimore. It was Jewish philosophy. It's very important because I use a lot of this history, Jewish philosophy, poetry in my work, and I will explain this. After school, I had an opportunity to come to the United States, and I came here just for a short time and it's happened that I did a one-woman show in upstate New York, was so successful that I decided to stay and continue for doing shows until today. So it's like 35 years later, doing art shows and working as full-time artist. So this is a beautiful Martin Luther King, that he say, I say to you today, my friends, that in spite of the difficulties and the frustration of the moment, I still have a dream. So it's true for America, it's true for Israel, it's true for individual people. We all go through life and learn, but we still have the dream in our heart. The Tree of Life, it's a good painting to start with. It's very classic as my personal painting. I paint in many different versions, the Tree of Life, and it's good for today because it's the new year of the trees. So I can really tie those together. Wanted to start to, in some of, I write poetry to all of my paintings, but as we go along, I'll just read a few that we see. So I want to start with the Tree of Life. And then I'll explain details about the specific of the painting. So the Tree of Life, our substance has secrets. Our awareness has the meanings. Through our eyes, we perceive enlightened reality. With our heart, we will find the power of life. And with our belief, we will understand the miraculous. So I wrote this because I think Tree of Life, it's very deep story. It's not a story or the start that I took from the Bible, the creation of the world, the circle of life. It's something that on the surface, it's Tree of Life, but the Tree of Life actually it has the roots, the trunk, in the flowers and the fruits, and it's the cycle, and it's going, you can see the commotion of the creation, the water and the wind and the fire and the earth, and the creativity is daily. It's not happened then 6,000 years ago. It's every day, the creation. It's the Tree of Life in our heart and soul. It's all the time. The cycle is alive. It's moving, lots of energy. So in the painting, you can see the energy, and the stroke of the paint is to show how much to create, you must be active. So it's like about action. So you can see this little hummingbird. I have this hummingbird in many of my paintings. It's these little birds that non-stop with action, with life, joy, and beauty. Yeah, let's see. We can go to the next painting. So yeah, that's as good as in the second painting. We are like trees planted along the river bank. I took it from the book of Psalm because here it goes deeper. We're not just trees and the basic cycle. It's very important where you planted the trees. So they talk in the book of Psalm that of course you planted the trees near the river and the water, because this will give the tree the fruit in time. Of course, we won't plant the tree in the desert without, but this is very symbolic that for people, and each one of us is blossom with a abundance of the goodness and this planet that we have. So, but the book, some Rebbe's explanation about that if we follow God's words, the God creation, we will have this spiritually, this abundance and beauty and success. So I see it, follow this abundance and have our roots in the right place, and we can learn about our roots, we can change our roots, and we can build and grow, and will be fruitful. So specific how I paint this, you can see in the middle of the picture the 4 columns. So it's the 4 seasons. It's right in the middle in the picture. And then on top of it, you can see a square, it's the day, and on the right, and on the left, it's the night. So we have the day, the night, the 4 seasons. The little squares around is the time. It's the chunk of time. It could be the period of time, the different path, if in my time, the hours, so that I have different pages in life. So it's not just the year, it's also the time that I decide when I move on or when I stay in this box or square. And on the bottom, I have this chair, and it says this in Hebrew, "V'haya ka'etz shatul al pelgei mayim." I see myself sit on this bench and learn from all of this. Sit, the chair, it's like about education. and where is my next move? Where is my next learning, discovering, and opening up and receiving. This is the explanation about this piece. And I wanted to mention that those pieces are large, and I just put, when I paint, it's with all my body, with the whole, it's not just my hands, it's my heart goes into this. So I really feel that when it's right, it must go through inside my intuition. I can go to the next. If you have questions, just let me know.
Merv, can you check the chat, please?
Before we check the chat, I just wanted to ask, are there supposed to be pictures that we are looking at while you're talking, Smadar?
Yes.
Oh, you don't see the picture?
No.
What?
Oh.
Colleen C. Is anybody?
You all see the pictures?
I see it.
I see them.
I see the
Okay,
picture.
Merv, it's in
I
your
see
end.
I see
I
it.
see them.
I see
Merv,
it.
okay, ladies and Merv, it's
then.
in your end.
Thanks.
So we just need to see and Colleen raised her hand.
Colleen, do you have a question?
Yes, I have a question for Smadar. Smadar, your paintings are beyond magnificent, and I thank you for your explanation. I am not quite as maybe creative as you. I just would like an explanation of the seasons in this beautiful painting that is 4 foot by 3 foot. That is, we are like trees planted along the riverbank, and in the middle are the 4 seasons. Could you just explain which is spring, summer, winter, and fall, please?
Okay, I did not go with the traditional colors, but the winter is the white one. I did winter with white because it's very pure for me. It's the time that nature actually rests and care. Like it's like an airplane needs to go and depart, needs the most power just to blossom after the long winter that they were all like in rest. And then summer is next to it, it's to the left, so it's the most left one. It's brown. In Israel, summer, it's not like here green, it's really brown. So it's very dry, lack of water. We don't have much water, so even the grass is brown. So the landscape is more brown. And then fall, I did purple. For me, the purple, it's like the end of summer, and it's very spiritual. It's very active, energetic, like going in between. It's the most active season for me, so I decided to do it purple. Do you see the colors, Colleen?
I do, and thank you for the explanation. I think it's fascinating that in winter you still have the hope of the blue flowers.
Yes.
I see it as hope and looking forward to the next whatever.
Yes.
My interpretation, but thank you, Smadar.
Thank you. Yes,
Jeannie, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
go ahead.
Yes, I had to unmute. Would it be possible, Samar, for you to point to what you're speaking about? I mean, I understood you, but I think it might, if you have that ability. to point on your pictures. For example, I couldn't see in the previous one.
I will try to do with the arrow. It will help you if I will show you.
In this painting or the
Yes, in the
first one?
painting, yes, in the painting, when you spoke about the 4 columns and the day and night.
Excuse me. I did understand in this painting what she was talking about. In the
Okay.
previous painting, she alluded to something small and I couldn't find it.
So
Which one?
what I would suggest, if we can move on, and when after the presentation, we will have time, we will go back. Is it okay? Ginny?
Well, we're only one away from the
Oh,
painting I'm talking
Go
about.
back to the Tree of Life. Go back
Okay,
to the Tree of Life.
okay. No, it's not
No,
this.
go back to the Tree of Life. So
Hold on a second.
To the first, there it is.
but so-
Okay. You
yeah.
mentioned, I think, was it a butterfly or something?
I
No,
mentioned
the bird. This is the bird.
The hummingbird. Do you see the hummingbird?
Ah, thank you.
Okay.
Yes. Do you
More
see
questions
on
about
your
it?
screen? If you see on the whole screen the painting, then you'll see them larger.
Yes. It is on the whole screen.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
This is Blossom, and this is a very personal painting. It's a huge painting, like 6 feet by 4, abstract. I call it Blossom. My name is Blossom. Smadar. It's how I translate my name, Blossom. As Sarit says, really, when my parents choose my name, it is fit my personality. I find in everything joy and fun and beauty. Like I feel like I'm playing with life. It's my kids sometimes ask me, Mom, you're not stressed, you're not this. Yeah, I'm stressed, but it's not anxiety. I'm stressed because I'm taking care and paying attention, but it's not the stress that like the whole world now feel. I see everything in the eyes of beauty and joy and challenge. So here you can see like the flower blossom. It's the upper right, the red, like it's about to open. So it's like half circle there. And many details with the water, flowers and birds and butterflies. And to show that we can see in anything blossoming, only if I have a downtime. I take what I have and learn in my heart to my painting, that even if it's difficult, it means that I need to learn something else. And every time I have a repeat problem, I tell myself, I did not learn the first time, and then why I get it the second time is I'll get it as much as I need to learn. And when I learned, I don't experience those problems again. You have any questions on this one? Yes, Sarit, so we can go to the next.
Yes, for those who would like to ask questions, we will have a Q&A also after the presentation.
The Secret Garden, I wanted to read another poem I wrote for this painting. So the Secret Garden. In the shining light of the moon, calmly and slowly, the atmosphere of blue light surrounds you. It makes the heart drunk like in a golden dream. Magically, I will blind the eyes to the moonlight at night. When everybody falls into silent sleep, then the choir of life will come to you in songs and celebrations to create the secrets of the night. So I see here that to create this magic, it must be something under the beyond our imagination or beyond what we see. So I call it the secret life because every time I open a new door, I imagine and create a garden. I call it a garden. It could be anything. It's this personal creation. And here in this piece, you can see that I come through this door that's on the blue gate on the right and create my soothing and beautiful place, and all the details that I was dreaming about in this painting.
Well, can we move on?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war that the bright daybreak of peace and brotherhood can never become a reality. I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word.
This one, Days of Peace. Also, to grow up in Israel, of course, unfortunately, we experienced many wars. I myself experienced many of them, unfortunately. So this I called Days of Peace. It's everybody in Israel pray after every war that this is the last war and this will be the days of peace from now on. And hopefully it will happen one day. In the middle of the painting, it's a tree it's the south of Israel in the desert. So the tree, I was driving to Eilat, and this tree was, everybody can see when we go down from the mountain, those trees are there. And I took the picture because I thought this is so quiet and peaceful and just there. And I don't want anybody to disturb anybody anymore, not the trees and not the people. So that's why I decided to put it in the middle. And then on all these squares, I have many, many details. So around the piece, it's small white bird. I call it, it's the bird, the dove, the bird of peace. Yes, it's all around, all over. Yeah, I have many, many of them in the frame of the painting. And then I put some, I paint some cypress, and in the squares around the tree, it's a garden. You can't see really the details, but it's a garden, trees and people. It's very romantic, and all these black and white pieces are very romantic garden and lovable and like the euphoria that I'll feel in the days of peace. The red color all over, it's because what we feel, this conflict in Israel after the war, it's very red. But in the middle, I brought the white sky and the white color, because white feels for me like, yes, it's the end of days that everybody will get along. This is it. So if we don't have any questions, we can move. to the next one. From the universe with love. I have a poem to read for this one. So it's like, it's a poem I have, like, I don't know if it's a poem, but it's like those thoughts that I had when I did it. Just a second. Let me get the poem here. Because it's my, before I'll read it, it's my communication with the universe. Because the universe created only by love. That's the only way God could create the world, is love. So this is like, but we are here and we need to love universe. So it's like both way. It's not one way. It's not working one way. So in the poem, I say, bring more magic, understand the secret, bring another improvement, understand the holy, bring the change, accept what life brings and give. Changes will happen in a moment. So if we're not respecting, changes can happen for us, and it's in a moment. It's in a moment, because time, in a new universe time, it's really in a second. So I paint this heart to show how I respect this creation that happened with love and how much I love this creation. And the candles in the middle of the heart, do you see it? It's because every Shabbat, the blessing is to bless the creation and to appreciate what we have. That's why I put the two candles in the middle, to show how much respectful we have to be, because the universe is very respectful for us, and love is it's the key word.
I'd like to ask you, how do you present the poems with your paintings? Are they on the bottom, across the bottom, or as an attachment, or what?
Oh, I just I have them separate, and if people purchase my work, yeah, send them the poem, so they have it.
But it's
What
separate.
language, Smadar, what language do you write your poetry in?
Separate from the painting itself?
What, Jenny? Sorry.
Separate from the painting itself?
Yes, it's not inside the painting.
Right. So it's not at the bottom or anything.
No, no. And I write everything in Hebrew. It's so much more beautiful in Hebrew, because in Hebrew, the words I use have always duality. And when I translate, is only like one. So I'm losing. Sometimes I leave my poems as is, but in Hebrew it's better. Then hopefully you enjoy and you get the another dimension through the poems.
Do you offer a translation of the Hebrew or not?
I do it myself as much as I can. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for your answers.
I wanted to show you also in the painting, I have the chandelier in the middle. I use a lot of this chandelier in my painting, so you can see it. This is on, yeah.
Is this one?
No, chandelier, go up a little bit, and yeah, it's the black. Do you see?
This one, yes.
Yes. So in most of my painting have chandelier hiding or big or small, because chandelier is the light. It's the inner light in my heart. It's the light that I bring to the world, and it's the light in the synagogue, because those chandeliers, I found them in the synagogue, so I have many of them. So it's very important for me, the light. The philosophy that I use, it's all about enlightenment ideas. I study Kabbalah. I study so through Kabbalah, I have, it's the Kabbalistic philosophy, it's 90%, they say that it's hidden and we only see this world is only the 10% of what we see. So I use it in my painting to hide many, many things. But to find the light, we have to dig and go deeper. I also study Judah Halevi, the philosopher, Maimonides. Maimonides is really it's big one. It's very interesting. I suggest everyone just read Maimonides. Kabbalah, it's hard. You need to study and go to school. But Maimonides have many books, and I use his philosophy, the Guide of the Perplexed. It's his famous book. It's through all section of life. It's how to eat, how to take care of our body, the morality, the mind. It's all levels. And I use all of them in my paintings. We can go to the next one if we don't have questions.
Before we go to the next one, it's not a question, but Lori Elinoff wrote, "Your work is amazing, exquisite colors. Your descriptions let us into your heart. They enrich your work. There are no words that can describe this beauty." Toda Rabba for sharing your work and your heart.
תודה. תודה.
Thanks.
Love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend. Unconditional love will have the final word in reality. And these two poems are by Martin Luther King Jr.
Thank you.
I 100% agree. Unconditional love, it's the only force. And yeah, it's unfortunately we forget that. This painting, it's about the view from Ein Harod, the kibbutz I grew up. This is the Gilboa. It's the view. You see the Gilboa, those mountains, and the Sachne. The Sachne, it's the water that's on the bottom of the Gilboa. And now those mountains are full of trees because of Tu B'Shvat. I must mention, because every Tu B'Shvat we went up on the Gilboa, each kid received a tree and we planted trees. And it's so this picture I took from my grandmother. It's really old. And so it's very beautiful. Now it's all trees, and it's all thankful for all the people of Israel that every year we plant trees and continue to do that. This little house on the Gilboa, I found a picture. It's have different meanings. First of all, my parents, when I was born, the house was like little cabin, wood cabin. This is all the houses in the kibbutz with just one room little cabins, and they look, you know, my mother complained, no bathroom and no water. They had to go out. So yeah, and it's not too long ago. See how Israel made the progress. And the other thing that this house reminds me, it's the first school that they built in Israel, and it was also a little cabin that all the kids went to this one. So I thought it's very important for the history. I love to paint history because nothing starts from now. Everything is ongoing. We are like a fountain that ongoing. We continue, we go, we continue, we bring the next generation, but we come from a previous generation and hard work. So it's really beautiful to remember and to know that all the time. North Galilee.
What about the cypress?
The cypress is Yeah, those are the trees all over, all over.
Can you tell the audience, at least you can teach them one word of a tree in Hebrew? What is a cypress?
Brosh. Brosh. I have to tell you that Sarit Brosh, that's her
Yes.
last. Yes. I want
Yes.
to mention
So,
this.
but
So
please
Sarit
do not,
Brosh, yeah.
do not begin to call me Sarit Cypress.
No. Brosh is a beautiful, beautiful name for the brosh. and you see brosh, it's have rosh, and that's why also they look like this. It's like they high, they
Yes.
go ba rosh. It's like brosh, it's be, it's like in the head, it's like on the top. So it's a beautiful name for the brosh.
Second.
Smadar, Lori, before you move on, Lori Eleanor was asking, what is sitting on the top, on the left?
So
this is this specific house. They built it as a school, the first school in the area. I found the picture, 1910. It was very important because the Jewish people was all about education, even though they decide to build this country and to be agriculture and be carpenters and all these jobs. The education is number one, was then and now and forever. So that's why I put this little cabin. In Israel, they had nothing. They had tent when they come here, but it was very important to build a school. The old city, so this is my home. You know, we say that my home is where my heart is. So my home is still Jerusalem because my heart is there. And I just paint like, you know, a street, but on the left, you can see the left to the blue door, I wrote, Ve'ahavta le'reacha kamocha, meaning love your neighbor as yourself. And you know, it's to say that in Israel, we have all religious, all nations, all people from all over the world. And it's the place that people should love their neighbor as yourself. If you will learn to do this, most of the problem will go away. So I think this is very important. Also, it's what the Bible is all about in one sentence. The Torah. The Torah. You ask the rabbi, what's the Torah is about? Tell me in one sentence. So I think Rabbi Akiva said that. I'm not sure. It's love your neighbor as yourself. This is what the Torah is talking about.
Rabbi Hillel.
Yeah.
Hillel.
Rabbi Hillel. Okay.
Teach me the Torah while standing on one foot.
Yeah, thank you. Right.
You're welcome.
Rabbi Hillel. I'll remember that. And I wrote a poem also. I wanted to, it's this poem, I called it, it's My Heart in Jerusalem. This is the name, it's My Heart in Jerusalem. So this is the poem. Today I ask the infinite knowledge to reveal the complexity of the pendulum. Someone saved my life before I was lost in time. Now I am in the heart of God. My heart is in Jerusalem. In the soul of the city lies the truth called freedom. Trust the love of God. It is our Jerusalem of hope. Manifest abundance, stream of harmony. Flowers will blossom in me. So this is how I see it, that to manifest constantly this gold and the freedom and the good and the love. and the kindness. And it works for me. I have no anxiety. But all my painting, it's like personal stories, and I find path through them to the new one, to the next level, to the next learning, to the next question, what I'm supposed to learn next. This is my tool. That's about this one.
But question from Colleen, or a couple things from her. First one, do you paint in acrylic or oil? I'll let you answer that first.
Yeah, this is acrylic. I paint all acrylic, and I use mixed media. I use sometimes fabric and embroidery and different objects that I add to the painting. Not in those paintings that I show you, but some of them. Sometimes I add a little bit of printing, photography, and things that I would like specific to show. So I add, and I'm very open to add everything. Everything goes. So it's a mixed media, basically.
Okay, thank you. The next part of it is, do you sell your paintings?
I sell them all over the United States for 35 years. I do art shows, many art shows. Like I used to do 100 art show, 100 a year. Since COVID, I slowed down. I don't know how many I'll do, but I have a studio. Everybody is welcome to visit my studio. I work full-time job. I start do art shows in many different galleries 35 years ago. Just when I started, it was in all major cities. And then I decide to do art shows in the street, because I enjoy it very much to show my art and go to people to different locations. So it's from California, Colorado, Illinois, New York, every state. I just decide to participate in art shows. I had in many years, many Israelis boys that drove my van full of art, set up art shows for me all over, and set the show for the weekend or for the week. And I sell the art, and I do it until today. It's my only job, hobby job that I love every morning, just to get up and do it. I'm very lucky I could do that. And I'm very lucky I could share, and people like my work. So yeah, that's what I do. I wanted to mention that actually I also do design clothes. I do tapestries, I do sculptures, I do many other things.
Contact information will be on the last slide.
I wanted to know, what's the white figure in this slide on the right?
White?
White, the white figure.
I don't have figure. It's a tree, maybe. It's plain.
This one? This one?
It's almost right in the middle.
It's a doors.
This one?
Yes, but no, to the right of that.
It's a plant. It's like a tree. It's green tree.
This is a tree.
Also,
no. It's
on the
completely white, and it's almost in a doorway.
It's just a design of roof and little nook.
You're talking about this?
Yes.
This is an arc, like
no, not below the arch. There,
yeah,
that little figure.
It's a plant. I put it like a plant. It's a tree, a plant.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Gosh, it looks fearsome.
Yeah, now I see it, but it's
okay.
Yeah. The blessing. It's our last. It's the last one, right? Yes.
I'm not sure now.
Yeah, I think
Oh.
it's the last
No, no.
painting I show.
No, it's
No.
not the last one. You have the 10 sphirot and the...
Right. Okay, so the blessing is, I wanted to read you the poem I wrote for the blessing. The world is tapestries of light and darkness. Our spirit are abundant with treasure. Wisdom and understanding are woven in layers of creation. Majestic rays surrounds us as we aspire to glory, and we are surrounded by beauty, warm glow. So this is the blessing that I wrote. It's about the blessing. We bless our kids like every Shabbat, like the God will bless us, will protect us, and bring peace to our heart. You can see in the middle the candles, the table, the wine glasses, the chair. And then the harp on the right and the cello on the left. When you can see like the whole piece is like a big heart that I can create. I created with the instrument. So the blessing, I wanted to do it in this light that we receive with the love, and music, of course, bring joy to our heart, and like just to complete that moment that Shabbat bring us when we light the candles.
And again, the chandelier.
And the chandelier, right. This is the 10 Sphirot. It's very it's literal piece from Kabbalah philosophy. I use the 10 Sphirot are the 10 divine stages that explain few things. It's the explanation of the creation of the world before the 6 days of creation. Kabbalah philosophers explain that it started with the 10 Sphirot. And I'll go really quick about all of them. But in the painting, it's the woman, the creator, and it's also the Shekhinah. So you can see the figure, and I did the figure in the shape of Hamsa. And the light from the above, you can see the light above her head that go and connect from the above, connect to people, and also another explanation with this 10 Sefirot is the explanation of our soul. So our soul, like our body have a head and arms and heart and legs, our soul also have ingredients, and those are the 10 ingredients of our soul, because it's parallel of the design and the blueprint of the creation. It's the 10 divine Sephirah. Each Sephirah is like a whole world. It's like the 6,000 years world creation, each Sephirah, until we come to our era. So we are now in the Malchut time, that it's also the 6,000 years will be, and it's on the bottom. So Keter is the top one, it's above the head. Keter, it's the crown, and it's the inspiration, it's the divine imagination, the source of the idea. It's above the head, but also as spirit and soul explanation. Yeah, this is our mind, this is our head, this is what we need to use our soul for the source of ideas. On our shoulders, left and right, it's Chokhmah and Bina, understanding and wisdom. And then we have Gvura, it's the power, it's the strength, the energy. Chesed, it's the sphera of yearning to help each other, to help other, and to make the world better. Hod is majesty. It's our ability to bring the magnificent, the beauty and the emotion. Tiferet, it's where were we? Hod. Tiferet is the beauty. It's about the harmony and balance. Yesod is the foundation. Foundation is the experience, the action, it's our needs, and it's also, you know, the generation, the continuation of humanity. In Netzach, it's the victory. Malchut is the kingdom. So the kingdom is the sphera that we are now. It's now we are 5,000, I don't know the exact date, but we have maybe more to the end of this sphera, like 250 years to the end, according to Kabbalah Sphirot. I paint this because I think it's very important for me to learn about my soul now. I don't worry about what will happen, but to learn the soul. So if we use those Sphirot to learn how our soul built and what's the strength that we have, of course, not everything is our strength. We, you know, in different people have different section, but it's good to know what is it? What is God thought when he create the soul, that it's actually fill up our body? What's this inside? And I use it as a meditation piece. I just say those 10 words. I say them in Hebrew, you can say them in English, as to meditate. I use them, and it's very helpful and very beautiful for to start the day, for good energy and yeah, and relaxation and harmony, and to get new ideas. If you have questions, this is like a deep piece. I hope I explain it.
I think Colleen has her hand. Go ahead, Colleen, you have a question or a thought? Go ahead.
What you just explained to me, Smadar, is so meaningful, because I always believe when we die, our neshama lives on, our
Right.
soul. And you have just given me this wonderful message here, or whatever it is, to really believe that. I didn't really ever understand Kabbalah, and maybe this is the philosophy that is very meaningful to all of us, because it's what continues after the body is gone.
I think it's important to know about our soul. What is it? It's not just
Right.
What's this thing that feel our body and we know it's there and it lives forever? What is it? It must be some divine thing.
I agree.
So those are the 10 Sefirot. It's the 10 divine things that in it. So when we learn them, each one of us actually can make all of them better. Like for me, the creative side is very strong, but I have sides here that it's not strong, but I can work on it. But now I know what to work on. Because if we have no idea, like we go to the gym, we know we need to work on our hands today, or legs, or abs, because we know the parts. On our soul, we don't know the parts. So we don't know how to even continue and develop. So this is like a basic, for me at least, that I see. In all of the Sefirot, it's a lot to learn and to know and to improve And I think it's really beautiful. You can Google the 10 Sfirot and you'll see the explanation, and you can connect to few of them, one of them, or all of them. And then you can learn about the other that you're not feeling connected and improve everything. And it's beautiful. You enlight your aura, you receive a lot of strength, spirit, but it comes and affect the body too. Lots of energy. I have a lot of energy, morning to evening, to the end, really, nonstop. And I think this is what gives me the hope that it's so important that we are here, and each of one of us is very important here, and it's a reason. Find the reason why you are here, and I'm here to share and bring joy through my and to share, what I learn I bring it through my painting, and I bring it through beautiful and a painting that will make you smile. It's what's important.
Thank you, Smadar.
You're welcome. Thank you for this question.
Merv, any more questions?
Let's
Oh, I'm
see.
sorry.
Okay, so let's see. Leslie, let me go back. Okay, that was Colleen. So Leslie says, not a question, appreciation, wonderful presentation. Your work is fabulous, and I loved how you shared your feelings with each piece of art.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, okay.
The difference between a dreamer and visionary is that a dreamer has his eyes closed and a visionary has his eyes open. Martin Luther King Jr. That's beautiful.
Oh,
This one, I wanted to show you the perspective, how my work can be large. It's a tree of life. It's another version of tree of life.
8 foot, 8 by 5.
Colleen, please.
Oh, sorry.
You can see that the tree is like a hand, like that, a hand holding. This is the tree, a hand holding all the life. So in it, you can see it in the painting right from this picture, but it's Adam and Eve, fruits, flowers, and all the 6 days of creation, the light, the sun, the moon, everything is on the hand of God. It's another tree of life painting. I paint a lot of tree of life every time in a different mind. Oh, the Torah covers. So it's all original on canvas that I paint. So I paint on a flat canvas and acrylic. And then what we did, we gave it to some seamstress that she will attach the velvet on the top and bottom and create and prepare it for the Torah cover. So the right one is Jerusalem, middle one is Tree of Life, and the left one is Shabbat, the candles. I have the 2 candles there.
Thank you. Is anybody has questions about the presentation before we are going to the thank you?
I would just like to say something. It's kind of a thank you, but it's just a thought, which is that, the mind and heart of an artist is a very passionate one. And, and it's more, and I'm just kind of reflecting on some of the comments that were made in the comment section about how people really appreciated your explanations. And I too appreciated the explanations, but I would also just like to add to it, there's a vulnerability when you share kind of what's in your heart and what you're passionate about, and you've put it in art and then presented it, you know, some people can just have art and give it without describing kind of what you're thinking and what you're trying to do. And but in the way that you, Smadar, have kind of shared with us what was in your heart as you were thinking about things and what, you know, about, you know, your memories and childhood, and it adds such a beautiful layer to the artwork. And it also, I feel very grateful that you trusted us enough to share that which was going through your mind and in your heart as you were creating this art. So I know that Sarit has got a more general thank you, but I just want to kind of thank you for making yourself vulnerable in that way to us and letting us in. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mer, before I'm stopping the share, can you check the chat if we have any questions or comments about, no? Okay.
Sarit, can I say something?
Yes.
So I just want to say thank you very much. I think this was wonderful, and particularly in today's day and age, it is so easy to get down about everything that's going on around that to have someone speak to us so wonderfully and so hopefully is really, really a nice thing. And I thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks.
Beth Plavner raised it.
Smadar, we met in 2007 with Betty Leibowitz, and I'm so happy that we met back then and were able to work with you to commission, when we were opening up the new building, these beautiful Torah covers, which to this day, every time the Ark opens, I think of you and I think of what they mean. I'm glad that people may not have known what they were symbolic of, and I'm glad you reminded them that we picked very pretty themes and meaningful themes for the Torah covers. So thank you again.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Okay. Smadar, thank you so much for sharing with us your amazing works and making this evening so unique. Thank you for sharing your inspired stories, poems, and philosophy behind each painting. I cannot imagine all the work that you must have put into each of your paintings, with both the hidden and the visible details that create the big picture. You are a champion on this. I know that what we saw today is a small part of your art. Hopefully, when the pandemic will calm down, we will arrange a visit to your studio, but not in Florida, in Owings Mills. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I would like also to thank Rabbi for your opening remarks, Merv and Andrew for reading the Martin Luther King quotes. Thank you all for coming, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at our future events. I would like to end with a quote: when the roots are deep, there is no reason to fear the wind. Thank you so much for coming. Good night, stay safe, and always look at your past, at your roots, and look for the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarit. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.